Question number 13. Recreation visits by month to 4 US national parks during the peak season in 2021. So this is the label given to this graph. After that we have the months June, July, August mentioned, and on the y-axis we have the number of recreation visits in thousands of visitors. And what are the 4 national parks? Yellowstone, Zion, Grand Canyon and Rocky Mountain. In 2021, 4 of the United States national parks that were among the most visited were Grand Canyon National Park, Rocky Mountain National Park, Yellowstone National Park and Zion National Park. The graph shows the number of visits for recreation to each of these parks during the 3-month period with the highest number of visitors. A student notes that among the parks shown in the graph, the park with the highest monthly recreation visits in all 3 months was blank. Which choice most effectively uses data from the graph to complete the text? Is it A. Zion National Park, B. Rocky Mountain National Park, C. Yellowstone National Park or D. Grand Canyon National Park? So we can clearly see that the highest is this black triangle shape, and that black triangle shape belongs to Yellowstone. So which should we choose? If you said C, well done, that is the right answer. Choice C is the best answer because it most effectively uses data from the graph to complete the statement about the US National Park with the highest number of recreation visits during a 3-month period. The line graph shows the number of recreation visits during the 3-month period. The line graph shows the number of recreation visits to 4 US national parks for the months of June, July and August of 2021. According to the graph, the number of recreation visits to Yellowstone National Park in June, what we observe in June, it is between this 900 and 1000, and that means around 940,000 in June. And what about July? In July, the number of visits is over here. It has gone above 1000. We can say 1,080,000. This is for July. And in August is over here. That is very close to 900. And we can say about 920,000. This is for August. So in all 3 months, the number of visits to Yellowstone was higher than the number of visits to any other park in each month. You can see that it is highest in Yellowstone only. All the others are below that only in the graph. And A is incorrect. And if you look at Zion National Park, so Zion is the square one and its values are here. So according to the graph, the number of recreation visits to Zion National Park was approximately, we can say 680,000 in June, 580,000 in July and 470,000 in August. And each of this is lower than the number of visits to Yellowstone in the same months. And B is talking about Rocky Mountain National Park. Rocky Mountain is this star shape. And if you look at the star shape values, Rocky Mountain National Park was approximately 670,000 in June, 900,000 in July and about 750,000 in August. And again, each of this is lower than the number of visits to Yellowstone in the same months. And finally, Grand Canyon National Park. So Grand Canyon is this circular shape, and according to the graph, the number of recreation visits to Grand Canyon National Park was approximately 540,000 in June, 560,000 in July and 430,000 in August, each of which is lower than the total visits to Yellowstone in the same months. Actually, the numbers are not even required, just for information we are providing it. So Yellowstone we can clearly see by just eyeballing that C is the answer. So I hope that's it.